We have essentially erased the blank spaces from the map. Our modern infrastructure maintains a total high-frequency surveillance of the entire globe, leaving no corner of the planet unmonitored. This global awareness relies on a constant, unbroken stream of digital data. From the altitude of a commercial flight to the temperature of a deep ocean current, every movement is logged by an orbital network. But within this seamless grid lies a specific, isolated location where the data simply stops. In this coordinate, the surveillance network hits a wall of absolute digital silence. This zone does more than hide from view. It actively neutralizes the sensors and monitoring systems we rely on to define our world. The real-world consequences are etched into the shoreline. Massive maritime vessels displacing thousands of tons of water have entered these coordinates and vanished without ever keying a radio or launching a lifeboat. The phenomenon extends thousands of feet into the air. In the decades following the Second World War, pilots began reporting sudden, inexplicable losses of altitude and orientation before vanishing mid-flight. This is a historical radar log. The handwritten paths show a steady, predictable course, until the lines simply stop. There is no descent, no change in speed, and no erratic movement. The blip is present, and then it is gone. Standard accidents leave debris fields and distress signals. This zone leaves an absolute vacuum, erasing both the physical objects and the data points that should have marked their end. For those who cross the threshold, physics begins to unravel. It starts with the navigational equipment. An analog compass needle, stripped of its magnetic orientation, begins to spin with a violent, erratic energy. This is followed by a catastrophic failure of every onboard electronic system. Cockpits go dark, communication lines go dead, and the vessel is instantly isolated from the outside world. As the electronics fail, the atmosphere itself shifts. A thick, impenetrable fog manifests around the vessel, so dense that it absorbs light and sound, physically blinding the survivors. Deprived of sight and sound, survivors describe a state of profound sensory confusion. In this void, the internal sense of time collapses. A panic-filled 3-minute descent is remembered as a struggle that lasted for hours. By stripping away both sight and measurement, the zone effectively dismantles a crew's ability to process or respond to reality. This physical breakdown is accompanied by a consistent psychological weight. Survivors report an overwhelming sense of dread, often described as the distinct heavy feeling of being watched by something within the silence. Scientists have spent decades trying to reconcile these accounts with cold data. Naval researchers have scrutinized every available seismic and atmospheric readout, looking for a logical trigger for these equipment failures. The primary hypothesis points to the ocean floor. Scientists suggest that localized magnetic anomalies, massive shifts in the Earth's field, erupt from underwater fault lines to scramble surface instruments and disrupt human neural pathways. But the evidence remains thin. Without conclusive data, the conversation shifts toward more extreme ideas, interdimensional gateways, or ancient buried forces beneath the crust. The friction remains constant. Whether the cause is geological or something far more unsettling, our current scientific models cannot predict or replicate the behavior within the zone. Whenever a disappearance is reported, the response is a total mobilization of modern search and rescue power. Coast Guard crews deploy to sweep the last known coordinates. The investigation continues beneath the waves. For generations, heavy submersibles and diving bells have been lowered into the depths to scour the seafloor. The results are consistently empty. There are no oil slicks, no metallic debris fields, and no recorded sonar returns where a hull should be resting. The maps show a vast, undisturbed seafloor. Every attempt to use technology to find an answer only deepens the silence. Each failed mission leaves us with more questions than we had before we started. We believe our science has conquered the world, yet this location remains immune to our understanding. It stands as a reminder that some domains do not answer to human curiosity. This is more than a geographic mystery. It is an epistemological limit. Epistemology is the study of how we know what we know. Here, both human machinery and the human mind reach their absolute capacity. Perhaps the ultimate truth is not waiting to be discovered. It may be that the forces at work here are something we are fundamentally unequipped to perceive, let alone understand. The true depth of the mystery is not the location itself, it is the realization of how little we actually know when the instruments go dark.